For those of us in education, we might just be trying to get through each day or each week right now. We might think that we don't have the time or the energy to work on achieving goals. I totally get it and I hear you. But I think that during a year like this, and really any time, our health and well-being matter so much. And I think that growth is a really important part of our well-being. So if you aren't sure how you want to grow or what your goals should be during such a challenging time, I encourage you to check out my other video about how we can approach goals during such a challenging year. But if you have some ideas about your goals and you want to dive into how to track them, you're going to love this video. So I was not always good at working toward my goals or changing my habits. So I'm going to share with you some of the things that have really helped me get good at achieving and working on my goals. Welcome to my channel, Lead with Love and Love to Lead. My name is Jess Madanfuoco. So there are just 3 steps to creating a habit tracker. 1, break your goals down into small actions. 2, decide on the frequency and duration of each action. And 3, create your tracker. So I will walk you through each step now. So number 1, break your goal down into small actions. So most of us in education don't have 1 or 2 hours a day to work toward achieving our goals because our jobs are filled with so many small, urgent demands that really require our attention. So I was talking with a principal friend a few months ago, and she was feeling frustrated because she'd gained some weight and she'd fallen out of her Peloton habit. And as I was listening to her talk about her frustration, I was thinking about how challenging it was for her because she had been really hardcore about Peloton. She'd been able to do these long and hard rides. And I knew what this year is like for principals. And so I knew that she didn't have time to do an hour-long ride on most days. So I really encouraged my friend to think about setting a really small goal for daily Peloton rides. Like a lot of the rides I do are just 20 minutes long, but it still makes you feel so good. It still has cardiovascular and fitness benefits. So I checked in with this principal friend of mine again recently, and she was so happy because she'd lost some of the weight she had gained and she'd reestablished her Peloton habit. And she said that it had really transformed her thinking to really set a small daily goal instead of trying to achieve the levels that she had achieved before. So I encourage you with whatever your goal is to really think about how small you can make it. And remember that even with a project goal, like I have a goal of creating an online restorative practices course, you can still turn that into a habit goal by saying that you're going to work on it for 10 minutes a day. Number 2, decide on the frequency and duration of each habit goal. So if you look at my fitness goals, what you'll see is that for my cardio, I have a goal of 5 times per week, but I often exceed that. But you'll also see that a lot of my Peloton rides are really short. They're just 20 minutes. But you'll see that on those days, I also might take a 20 to 30 minute walk. And then you'll see I also have some upper and lower body strength training sessions. But what I did is I made sure to create a series of exercises so my whole upper body routine takes just 10 or 15 minutes. And same with my lower body routine. It takes just 10 or 15 minutes. And I do each of those just twice a week. So what I encourage you to think about with this is for duration, think about making each habit goal as short as possible. And then for frequency, think about the minimum amount of times you need to do each habit each week to achieve your goals. Number 3, create your habit tracker. Okay, so this is fun. I recommend using Canva for this. All right, so what you're gonna do is you're going to go into canva.com. And then when you get in there, you're gonna go to the search bar and you can see that I've already searched for habit tracker, but you're gonna search for habit tracker. And then you have some things to think about. So You can see how some of these are tracking multiple habits over the course of just 1 week. So that's a habit tracker where you just track for a week at a time. But you can also do one like this one, where you see how for this one, it looks like you're tracking for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks at a time. So I encourage you to think about not tracking too many things, because if we have too many goals, then we're not going to achieve them. So I encourage you to think about tracking fewer things, but, just think about what would work best for your specific goals with a habit tracker. So I will show you the one that I chose. Let me go to home, and here's my habit tracker. So if you go down to this bar here, you see how we can zoom in. So what I did is I adapted this one. And if you look at the original, you can see the original here. It has these colors that I don't really like. So I changed the colors to a blue and a green because that feels a little more cheerful for me. So you see how on this one, this is basically like the cardio section of the tracker. So I have some codes. So I can write P for Peloton, W for walk, C for Cybex. And so what I do with these is, if you look at this example of a completed habit tracker, what you'll see is that what I do is I write down the duration of each. So I'll write 20P means a 20-minute Peloton, right? Or 30W means a 30-minute walk. And then what you can see too is I adapted this to say what my goal is. And then on the original habit tracker, it had reward here, which I think is a great thing, but it's not how I'm motivated. I'm motivated by reasons why. So I changed it to why, and I added like why this is an important goal for me. So this one is tracking my core fitness. So I have a goal of doing 4 core workouts a week, 1 20-minute, 1 10, and then 2 5s. But you can see if you look here at the completed habit tracker that I've actually been exceeding that goal and doing them almost every day. And then, as I mentioned, for my upper and lower body strength, I do each one just 2 times per week. And so then you can see what I write for that when I complete it is a U or an L for upper or lower. And so then what I wanted to do to show you here is I originally had ankle physical therapy and stretch and yoga here, but I actually finished my ankle physical therapy. So what I'm gonna do is move my stretch or yoga here, and then move the reason up here, right? And then format it so it looks okay there. And then this is where I'm gonna write my daily habit goal of restorative practices course, okay? And you see how you format really easily in Canva. So my goal with this is actually 7 times per week, and my duration is just 10 minutes per day. And my reasons for wanting to work on this restorative practices course are that I'm currently having an impact in Boston on restorative practices, but I want to have an impact in Boston and beyond. So impact in, or let's just say impact beyond Boston. I'm going to say Black Lives Matter. And I just really think that you can't truly transform a school without restorative practices. So I'm really excited to get that online to try to impact leaders and educators. So you see how I did that. This bar is really useful because you see how you can zoom in or make it smaller. You can see that on this original habit tracker over here on the left, it only had 4. And so what I did is I made these each smaller. So I made it just 1 month instead of, I think the original has 5 or 6 weeks. So I changed it to just 4 weeks here. But what it helps you do is it really helps you see like, which ones are you able to be achieving? Which ones are harder for you to meet that you need to make some adjustments to? And then we'll look at habit trackers. We're going to look at weekly ones. Okay, so you see some of these. So these can be really great too if you want to just track things on a weekly basis. And it's really simple. You just, let's zoom in a little so it's easier to see what you type, right? You can go here to add text. So if you like that text, you can put that there. And then you see how you resize things with this little button like that. And say you want to drink 8 glasses of water, right? That's like a really foundational, important habit. So you can adjust that to fit there, to be on the line, however you like it. And then you can just check those off each day as you achieve that habit. So let's go instead, let's search for monthly habit tracker and see what comes up. Oh, so here's another interesting option. So it looks like for this one, what you're actually doing that's kind of cool is you're actually just choosing one habit to track. And then you can see several months at a time in this example. So this approach is kind of cool too. And that might work for you for certain habits if you want to look at them over time. Oh, another thing you want to think about customizing is, do you like to have a Monday start or a Saturday start? So some people like to have a Saturday start to their weekly routines, and some folks like to have a Monday start. I like to have a Monday start because I find that then I can catch up on weekends. If I didn't achieve the number that I wanted to during the week, I usually have more time on weekends. All right, so once you are happy with your habit tracker, what you're going to want to do, let me just slide this over, is you're going to want to click up here and hit the download button. Now there's 2 different options that I think are both good for this. So the 2 options are either to download it as a PNG or a JPEG. Those are both like image file types. And the PNG, I guess, is a higher quality image. So if you're going to download it as an image, do it as a PNG. But then the other option is to do a PDF. So basically what you want to think about with this is, if you're going to have your habit tracker be a regular size sheet of paper, then you definitely want to do the PDF, because that'll make it just the size of a piece of paper. And so then you'll be seeing it in that big format that you want. But if you instead might want it to be a little smaller, then I'm going to show you what I do. And what I do is I take the image and put it into a Google Docs. Let me show you how to do that. So the first thing you do is you click download to download the PNG. And then you're going to go and open a Google Doc. I'm sure you could do this in Microsoft Word too. All right, so once you get your blank Google Doc open, you can just drag the image into the Google Doc, but you can also go to Insert, and then go to Image, and then go to Upload from Computer, and then it should have gone to your Downloads folder. So you're going to go find it based on whatever you named it, and I called mine Habit Tracker. So there it is. And so now what this enables you to do is this, if you leave it this big, then this will be similar to the PDF where it'll be most of the page, right? But what I actually do is I make mine a little bit smaller because I keep mine inside my full focus planner. So I print it out smaller so that it can fit inside my planner, so that I just have it wherever I go. So I have it when I bring it to school, but I also have it if I go on a weekend trip because I always have my planner. So I recommend thinking about resizing it if you want it to fit inside your planner, or maybe you're someone who carries a notebook or journal around with you and you want it to fit inside that. You can resize it in this way that I just showed you by making it small or making it bigger. You definitely want to keep it as big as you can though, because as you saw on my completed version of the tracker, I often fill out details inside these little circles. So if you make it too small, it's going to prevent you from being able to do that. So thank you so much for watching this video. If you're interested in the topics of teacher evaluations or how to achieve your goals or work more efficiently, check out these other videos on my channel. My mission with this channel is to support leaders and teachers' growth so that we can support our students' growth. And remember, if you lead with love, you will love to lead.